And what's up, everybody? I'm back with another video game review, and today I am reviewing Transformers War for Cybertron. I originally planned on reviewing Autobots, the Autobots version, and the Decepticon or Deceptions version, whatever you pronounce it. We planned on reviewing those both separately originally, but after playing both of them, I decided to include them both in the same review because of the fact that I just didn't have enough to talk about them individually. You know, I'd be kind of talking about a lot of the base stuff for the first version, the Autobots version, and then for the Deceptions and Decepticon version, I would be comparing what you do in this game versus what you do in Autobots, and that would be really it. So I just decided, let's make them one review. Why not? Both these games came out in 2010 on the DS. And they were graciously given to me, or I was allowed to borrow them from none other than Dark Realm 7. So thank you for letting me borrow these games and giving me the opportunity to play them. So let's jump right into it, shall we? I wasn't expecting much from this game. I was expecting it to, or these games. I'm gonna call them these games. I wasn't expecting much from these games. I just expected them to be more kind of just like a licensed game, cheap licensed game, nothing more, on the DS, especially late in the DS's lifetime. 2010 was only about a year left for it, so that's what I was kind of expecting, having played a lot of those kind of games already, and I was pretty pleasantly surprised. It was a pretty fun shooter. It still wasn't a super large game, but it is a fun one to play, and I was very, very surprised. I had a lot of fun with these games. They don't take as much advantage of the Transformers part of it that I would have hoped. You can transform into certain vehicles and use those in combat, and they can come handy for a few things. But mostly it's just running around in third person and shooting the shit out of things or battling other things. So I guess I've never seen the movies, so I guess I don't know how well they how well they work with that in the movies. But in the game, I was expecting a little bit more. But what we got was still pretty cool. So, the controls took some very loose, just kind of all over the place. It took some getting used to, for sure. Sorry, yawning. It was very hard in the beginning to land a hit because you have to be the lock-on feature you're gonna want. It comes in handy for sure to help negate some of this looseness with the controls. But it can be a little confusing sometimes trying to land a hit. But you get used to it, though. It didn't take me that long to get used to it, but it is something you're gonna notice right off the bat. So definitely want to take some time to get used to the controls, especially if you're playing on the 3DS, which I did. The circle pad is probably not the best way to go. That's especially gonna take some getting used to because it makes the controls a lot more loose than the D-pad. So. But because of the D-pad's placement, I still found myself trying to use the circle pad because it just felt more comfortable for me. So yeah, that's how I felt for that. One thing that did make this very obvious that it's a cheaper licensed game were the graphics. They were all right, for the DS. They were fine. It just kind of felt a little tacky. And kind of what you'd expect. So that's kind of where it showed its stuff. But it does what it needs to do. It's not DS games were never supposed to be the most graphically inducing, especially third-party stuff. So, yeah, kind of what you expect. But, so let's talk about the difference between Autobots and Deception, because this is apparently something that they were going for a lot of these games right around this time. The Autobots version, you play as the Autobots and you go through their side of the campaign. And then when you play I'm going to call them Deception, I don't fucking know. When you go through their side, you play, when you play that one, you go through their side. So they go through the same tutorial, which is kind of weird. And then the story does vary, going through different levels. I think the Deception version, I think, had more of the battles and stuff like that. But you're going around and just basically playing different sides of the same story. So you do get a different experience for each game. Does that really make it, though, that they were worth 2 separate cartridges? In my opinion, no. I don't think they were worth 2 separate cartridges. I think they could have easily made this one game, where when you load up the game for the first time, you play the Autobots version, and then if you beat the Autobots version, then you can go and play it again in the Decepticon or Deception version. I think that would have been a cool incentive to play the Autobots version. Or, maybe you do the other way around. Maybe you play Decepticon and then you play Autobots. Maybe that's which one they thought would be less popular. You make that the one you have to play first in order to get to the other one. It just doesn't feel like these were worth 2 separate cartridges. I mean, because you gotta buy the game. They gotta buy the same game twice, basically. And I just don't think most people would do that. I guess you are, again, you're getting pretty significant, you're getting semi-significant story differences, but fundamentally they are the same with the controls, with the level designs, the character, how the graphics work. They're fundamentally the same, but just from different perspectives. And I just wish that I don't know, it just felt kind of like they were trying to get money out of people. More money than they should have, but oh well. Maybe there's more reasoning as to why they do this. I haven't played any other Transformers games, so I wouldn't know. But any of you who know, I'd love to know what's going on in the comment section down below. So my final score for these games. They're going to get the same score. 7. I'm going to go with 8. They're fun games. I really did enjoy my time with these games. Which I was surprised with. I really was. So... really fun, just fun shooting stuff around and kind of running through the levels, and I like that. So that's going to do it for this review. If you've played either of these games, I'll listen to your thoughts about them in the comment section down below. And that's going to do it for this video, so stay tuned for much more amazing content, including more game reviews and other awesome stuff. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.